3 months. Swansea's win moves them to within 2 points of the Premier League's top 6 with 2 games left. I'll have more sport in 30 minutes.
You're listening to Newsday from the BBC. Thank you, Sarah. There's lots of sports on our website, which is, of course, bbcnews.com. China's economic slowdown has had a huge knock-on effect on the economy of Australia, according to the government. A slowdown in the country's mining industry has led to a surprise rise in unemployment across the country. As the government prepares to hand down this year's budget, Prime Minister Tony Abbott says it will take political risks to repair the budget. Some observers believe the situation is far worse than the government admits. From Sydney, here's Phil Mercer.
A horror story is how a respected economist is describing the Australian budget. Chris Richardson blames a fall in tax revenue from a weakening economy and a slump in mining royalties.
They are all a horror. We don't understand that the economy is still fine, but the budget keeps getting worse.
His forecast is grim. Over the next 4 years, he says Australia will sink further into the red, with deficits around $120 billion, which is far worse than official expectations. Last year's budget was a spectacular failure. Sweeping cuts to public spending provoked outrage, and much of the legislation was scuppered by senators in the upper house of Parliament, which the government doesn't control. While the Conservative Prime Minister Tony Abbott says this budget will be fair, Labour's Chris Bowen says the Treasurer Joe Hockey is no longer trusted by his colleagues after last year's disaster.
His credibility as a serious treasurer has been so diminished over the last 12 months. We saw his first budget smash confidence, make the transition from the mining boom harder.
What I believe people will conclude about this budget is that it is measured, responsible and fair.
Now to worrying signs for the broader economy. Australia's unemployment rate has climbed to 6.2%.
Thousands of full-time jobs are being lost. For Indigenous Australians like Ozzy Ryan, who's a maritime trainee at Harbour City Ferries in Sydney, finding work was tough.
Oh, they weren't easy. I was unemployed, not working, no income. Like, my missus wasn't exactly very happy.
After a demoralising period on the dole, he beat off competition from hundreds of other applicants to forge a new career on one of the world's most famous waterways.
My ambition is to one day be a skipper of one of the ferries. At the moment, they currently don't have an Aboriginal skipper working for him. So that's my goal one day.
But for others, unemployment can be corrosive.
My name's Brendan McLeod. I work in a mining industry. Been made redundant last Thursday. I lay awake at night. It's sort of been hard sleeping the last week. Just that, that emptiness feeling in your stomach, like a relationship breakdown. I'm liking it to that. And having to tell my partner, 10 years, and she's taken it harder than I have. She's really stressed about it.
The jobless rate here has been at a 12-year high, and the budget is in big trouble. Australia's Conservatives face huge economic challenges ahead of a federal election due next year.
So BBC's Phil Mercer. Let's talk business a bit more, and the oil giant Royal Dutch Shell has won a key battle in its bid to begin drilling for oil in the Arctic Ocean. Tony Bosignore, our business reporter, is here, and Tony, tell us a bit more about this.
Yeah, so this